I heard his name on the radio in a Target parking lot. The engine was still running. The AC was blasting. And the local news host was talking about a Department of Defense briefing out of Fort Bragg. 3 U.S. Army personnel were killed during a night training exercise. I wasn't really listening. Then I heard it. Staff Sergeant Daniel Carter. My hand slipped off the steering wheel. Daniel Carter wasn't just a name on the news. He was the man who paid for my coffee 3 weeks ago in downtown Raleigh. The man who joked about hating small talk. The man who kissed me outside a brick-walled cafe and said, "I don't date for fun. I date for real." And now the radio was telling me he was dead. I turned the volume up like it might fix things. It didn't. I sat there frozen while SUVs passed me, while shoppers walked by with carts full of groceries, like the world hadn't just split me open. I called his number. Straight to voicemail. Again. Again. By the time the phone slipped out of my hand, I understood something terrifying. I was about to mourn a U.S. soldier I wasn't officially allowed to mourn. I told myself the radio had to be wrong. Names get mixed up all the time, right? Common last name. Military coincidence. Someone else's Daniel Carter. That's what I repeated as I drove home through North Carolina backroads, my knuckles white around the steering wheel, my phone sitting face down in the cup holder like it might explode if I looked at it again. Daniel had told me he was Army. Stationed out of Fort Liberty. Training rotation. Nothing dangerous. Mostly boring, he'd said on our date, grinning as he tore a sugar packet open with his teeth. Paperwork, range days, yelling at guys who forget their helmets. Not combat. Not active deployment. Definitely not something that ended with a DoD casualty list. When I got home, I didn't turn on the lights. I sat on the couch in the dark, listening to the hum of the refrigerator, replaying our first date like it was evidence in a trial I didn't want to attend. The way he paused before answering certain questions. The way he changed the subject when I asked how long he'd be stationed here. The way he said, "If things disappear suddenly, just know it wasn't you." I'd laughed then. I wasn't laughing now. I finally turned my phone face up. Still no missed calls. No texts. No, "Hey, crazy night, I'm alive." I opened Google. I typed his name. Daniel Carter, Army, Fort Liberty. My heart pounded as results loaded. The first few links were useless. Facebook profiles. Old LinkedIn pages. Then. Department of Defense, Casualty Release, Preliminary. My fingers shook as I tapped it. The page was clinical. Cold. Black text on a white background. No photos. No stories. Just facts. Rank. Branch. Unit. Status. I scrolled slowly, telling myself I would stop if I saw his name. I didn't. Staff Sergeant Daniel Carter. U.S. Army Special Operations Command. Status, killed in training incident. Next of kin notified. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might throw up. Special Operations. He never said that. He never said anything about that. I stared at the screen, my brain refusing to connect the dots. Special Operations soldiers don't go on casual dates, do they? They don't sit in coffee shops talking about bad movies and favorite pizza toppings. They don't kiss women goodbye and promise a second date. And then something hit me like a second punch. Next of kin notified. That wasn't me. I wasn't a wife. I wasn't a fiancé. I wasn't even a girlfriend long enough to matter. Which meant somewhere out there, someone else was crying right now. Someone else had the right to know everything about him. I didn't. That realization hurt more than the word killed. I scrolled further down, desperate for details. Nothing. No location. No explanation. Just a line at the bottom. Further information will not be released at this time. I called his number again. Straight to voicemail. This time, I didn't hang up. I waited for the beep. Daniel, my voice cracked, it's me. Please call me. If this is some kind of mistake, just call me. Silence. I didn't know if he was dead yet. But I knew something worse. I had fallen in love with a man whose life I was never meant to fully see. That night, I didn't sleep. Around 3 a.m., I opened the drawer beside my bed and pulled out the receipt from our first date. I tossed it in there without thinking. 2 coffees. 1 slice of pie. Paid in cash. Who pays in cash anymore? At the bottom, scribbled in pen, was his number. I traced the ink with my thumb, realizing something terrifying. I didn't even know if Daniel Carter was his real name. By morning, the news had updated. The headline changed. Soldier killed during classified training exercise? Classified. That word sealed it. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't simple. And I wasn't supposed to be part of the story at all. But 3 days later, a black SUV parked across the street from my apartment. And that's when I understood. Whatever Daniel was involved in, it wasn't finished with him. And it wasn't finished with me either.